Live! It's a beautiful Friday where I am in Northeast Ohio. I'm Adam the Bull. He is professional bettor Wes Reynolds, a big Indianapolis fan. We were just talking about how depressing it is after a great basketball season from the Pacers to have to watch the Indianapolis Colts probably this year. It's going to be ugly, Wes. We got a lot of baseball to talk about. But is everybody in Indiana depressed? I mean, first you make this magnificent run in the postseason, and then your best player gets hurt in Game 7. You lose the championship, and now you're going to have to watch the Colts all year. That's rough.
Well, there's an old saying that says "Go ugly early," and the Colts absolutely did that last night in Baltimore. I don't know how you cannot be concerned about that quarterback situation and really the entire team. You never want to be a prisoner of the moment. Oh, it's
Yeah.
just preseason, but man, when you got your guy that you drafted number 4 in the draft a couple years ago, and kind of a rudimentary, 100 level college class quarterbacking,
Yeah.
and doesn't see the free blitzer, which it's not on the line. It was on him, and he paid the price and fractured his finger. Should be back to practice tomorrow, but not very impressed by either of the primary two options at quarterback for the Colts.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And we'll have plenty of football coverage here on the Betting Weekly Network, the Bet Rivers Network, as we go forward. But today it's Betting Weekly Hardball. We're on every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific. Alex and Z are with us producing the show today. And there's a lot to get to after a very light Thursday, Wes. Just 4 games on the docket yesterday. On Friday, pretty much always a full slate of games, unless there's a weird traveling situation on the weekend. But 99.9% of the time, there's always a full slate of games on Friday. No day games on Friday, usually, unless there's a Wrigley Field game. But did you have anything yesterday in the quiet slate there?
Yeah, a couple things. Did play the under A's and Nats, and that's just that getaway under, like a very early start, 12:05
Yeah.
Eastern, 9:05 Pacific. When you have two teams that got to travel, and I realized the A's only had to go to Baltimore from DC, but you had the Nats who go across country tonight to play in the Bay against San Francisco. So sometimes you see that last game of the series, kind of quick hacks early, and you certainly did. Ends up going under 9. With 6 runs. Got lucky on a prop last night, too, with Cookie Carrasco, who I took over 15.5 outs. And I was like, there's no way they're bringing him out for the 6. He's in the high 80s. He's already given up like 6 runs. Sure enough, they send him out there. And that's something that you want to watch, I think, for like these out props, because all of these starting pitcher out props, a lot of them are predicated too on bullpen usage and how taxes your bullpen. So sometimes it's like, well, this would normally be a hook in this situation, but we got to send him out there. Like today, you pretty much got, I think, fully rested bullpens around Major League Baseball because of the off day for most teams. So maybe we'll see some longer leashes for some of the starters tonight across the slate.
Yeah, Chris Massaro, who was on with me yesterday, he also had that same under in the A's Nationals game, and that was a day game. So we were following along with that one, and so glad it paid off for you. I'm glad it paid off for him, and hopefully it paid off for a lot of fans that were watching or listening to this show. If you have a question, if you have a comment, you want to chime in on anything on the baseball schedule today, put it in the YouTube chat, and we will get to it a little bit later. But let's get to the docket today. Like I said, 15 games, no day games. The first game will be at 6:40 Eastern time, and we'll get to that later. But let's start with a game on the West Coast because this is really cool. Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw, Blue Jays, Dodgers, 10:10 Eastern. I mean, you talk about 2 future Hall of Famers. Obviously, neither is the pitcher they were in their prime, but it's still cool to see those guys going up against each other tonight. Where I think worth watching this game just for that.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's kind of like a time warp. Like, man, if this was like 2015, this would be really, really awesome. But still should be a very good game with 2 division leaders right now in a big series for both of these teams. Toronto, you kind of keep saying, okay, when is water going to find its level? When are they going to fall back? And they don't look like they're falling back anytime soon. The closest pursuer in that division right now is the Boston Red Sox, and we'll get to that series in San Diego. I believe the aforementioned Chris Massaro will be attending, lives in San Diego and watching his Red Sox. But Yeah, looking at this tonight, lean a little bit under here, 9 minus 115. I think at Bet Rivers, it's right around that price. Actually, 9 minus 14. So would lean that a little bit because these are two veterans that don't have the strikeout. They don't have the strikeout power they used to have. You look at
Yep.
Kershaw; he's juiced to the under substantially at 3.5 strikeouts.
Hmm.
But when you get a little bit older, you kind of got to pitch to contact a little bit, and location, location, location. That's the name of the game in real estate and also for pitching in Major League Baseball. So I think both these guys now are probably about 5 inning pitchers. Maybe they go 5 1/3, and that's about it. And they turn it over to the bullpen. So I have not bet this game yet, but I'm not mad if you like the under. Under 5, by the way, for the first 5. Juice the under a lot of places, or you can or you could try to get the plus money at Bet Rivers at 4.5. I'd recommend maybe just the under 9 here at the reduced juice, minus 114. That would be my lean in this game. But Blue Jays getting the money here. This is a chance, I think, for the Blue Jays, not that they haven't made a statement, to really make a
Oh
statement.
yeah.
Like, okay, we're not just going to win the division. We're a title contender. We absolutely are a contender for the World Series, and I think this is the prove it series for them.
And I believe they are a legitimate title contender personally. And to your point of what you were saying there about the Blue Jays, remember about a month ago, it was a big thing. Michael Kay, the announcer of the Yankees, made a big thing about, oh, the Blue Jays run differential stinks. They're a fraud. And at the time, I think the Yankees were, I believe, had 100, were plus 100 compared to the Blue Jays in run differential. Well, the Yankees are still ahead of them in run differential, but it was roughly plus 100. Now the difference is only about 30 runs. The Blue Jays at the time had a negative run differential. Now they're plus 55. The Yankees are plus 88, living off what they did early in the season. It's no longer a huge gap between the two. And I think anybody that wasn't taking the Blue Jays seriously has made a mistake. Listen, first of all, the American League's wide open. There should not be an overwhelming favorite in the American League, and there is not an overwhelming favorite in the American League. The 3 best teams for the first half of the year were the Astros, the Yankees, and the Tigers, and none of those teams are playing well right now. Now it's the Blue Jays and the Mariners playing the best baseball. And frankly, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Guardians are probably 3rd in terms of playing well right now. And I think really anybody that makes the playoffs in the American League could win it. But I like the Blue Jays a lot. I think their rotation, while not great, is underrated. It's solid top to bottom. I think they've improved their bullpen a little bit, like with a lot of names that people don't know. And obviously their lineup has just been sensational. I know it's Colorado, but still 63 hits in 3 days. That's insane.
Yeah, no question about it. And when Michael Kay said that,
Yeah.
that's
What
when they
was it?
got pounded. That's when
Yep.
the Yankees got pounded by the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I hate the Yankees, so I'm sure you do. Does everybody hate the Yankees? If you're either a Yankee fan or you hate them, right? Doesn't it have to be that way? You can't let it affect your betting, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. All right, let's get to those Yankees. They're hosting the Astros, 2 teams again that got off to great starts, but are not playing well. Start a series in the Bronx this weekend. Obviously, the Astros have the pitching matchup with Hunter Brown going against Cam Schlitter in this one. Always got to be careful when you say that name. That game is a 7:05 start. It will be on Apple TV. Hunter Brown had a couple of shaky starts earlier in July, but he settled back down. His last 2 starts against the Athletics and the Red Sox, he's gone 12 innings, only allowed 11 base runners on 8 hits and 2 earned runs with 11 strikeouts. But the Astros have still lost 4 of the last 5 times he's pitched. What are you thinking with Hunter Brown against the Yankees today?
Yeah, and look, Cam, by the way, has shown that he's got some good stuff. Like he's not really given a lot of length, I don't think, but he's got some strikeout stuff. So you got to pay a little bit of a tax, I think, if you like those over strikeouts. But that'd be where I would probably lean here. I haven't bet this as of yet, but that would be where I would look. I think your first time seeing this kid, but then second time through the order maybe he gets in a little bit of trouble. He's still a very young pitcher trying to figure it out. So That'd be where I would look here. The market certainly likes the Yankees as they've moved to favorites, and I don't think this could be a buy low because they've had such bad news, and that bullpen has been, I think, bad for them. All the acquisitions really have struggled. Bednar,
Yep. Oh
Bird,
yeah.
of course, already got
Yeah.
DFA'd, so
Yeah.
or sent down.
Sent to the
But
minors. Yeah.
nevertheless, yeah, yeah, Yankees bullpen has really struggled. So maybe Yankees first five too, if you want to play a side with the kid going through the lineup the first couple times.
Man, if I would have told you um, last off season that the Yankees bullpen by August of this year would have Devin Williams, David Bednar, Jake Bird, Luke Weaver, Camilo Duvall, all in their pen. Even Mark Leiter Jr., who pitched great for the Cubs for like 2 years. And really none of them were pitching particularly well. You would never have believed it. You got four former closers. Three, four, yeah, four guys who have been closers in this pen, and none of them are pitching well. It's remarkable.
No, not at all. Yeah, they have not figured it out, and it's really affected everybody. So I
Yeah,
think they've got some issues there in the Bronx. They finally Judge is back in the lineup now, so that certainly helps on that side. But yeah, the Yankees, yeah, people waiting for them to turn around. It's kind of like they're just hanging on right now. Like
yeah,
they're just hanging on to try to make the playoffs, and that might be the ceiling.
yeah. That might be it. I would not be surprised. I picked the Yankees to not make the playoffs for the season. I wouldn't be surprised if they were left out, if Texas beat them out, maybe even Cleveland, even though it seems unlikely on paper. But we'll see how it goes. All right, next game. The other New York team, the Mets, just got swept by those Cleveland Guardians. They're in Milwaukee. You played a hot team in Cleveland. You play the hottest team now in Milwaukee. It feels like the Brewers have won every game for a month. They seem completely unstoppable right now. They're 26 games over 500, best record in the American League or in the National League. They've gone 14-4 since the All-Star break, and then even before the break, they were playing well. They had won 3-7, so they're 21-4 in their last 25 games. Yeah, that's crazy. The hotness, the streak that the Brewers are on right now. I think we lost Wes. Yeah. San Francisco Niner says he likes the Mets on the money line. Look at that. That's a ballsy pick right now with the way that the Brewers have been playing. So San Francisco 49er, he thinks the party ends today for the Brewers. He's taking the Mets on the money line. Adam Osimo is opposite. He likes the Brewers. San Francisco 49er also says the Yankees will definitely make the playoffs. All right. I'm not buying this definitely. I still
Yes,
think they have a decent chance, but I don't know. You're very confident there with the Yankees. Wes, we got your back?
we're back.
Yeah. All right. So I was talking about the Brewers 21-4 in their last 25, hosting the Mets, who just got swept by the Guardians here. Anything with Woodruff facing Kodai Senga today in this matchup? So it should be it's a good matchup on paper, but the Brewers they're just unstoppable right now. 8:10 Eastern start.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to fade this team because I keep wondering when the other shoe's going to drop for the Brewers, and it just doesn't. Woodruff. You look at his metrics: 158 batting average balls in play, astronomically low for this guy. So it's like, okay, regression's coming, right? We're going to get regression from this guy, and you just never get it. The
Yeah.
Brewers, it's the same way with some of their other starters. They consistently, Quinn Priester is another one.
Yep.
They consistently get ground balls. They get quick outs, because it's not like overpowering stuff. Like teams feel that they could be really aggressive, right? They could be really aggressive against these pitchers, and then it's just like 1 and 2 pitch outs, and that's why you get linked out of these guys. And these guys go 6 innings and maybe even sometimes into the seventh. So yeah, no thank you in terms of fading Brandon Woodruff tonight.
We talked about how hot the Brewers are. The Red Sox are a sizzling hot team. They did lose their last game in Kansas City on Wednesday. That followed a 7-game winning streak. They've won 9 of 11 overall and have obviously now in second place in the American League East. They'll have Walker Buehler, who has not pitched well for them, on the hill against Nick Pivetta of the Padres. Walker Buehler with a 7.44 ERA on the road, 5.74 overall. He's been a huge bust this season. Any hopes for him? I know the Red Sox have been hot, but what are you thinking in this game?
Yeah, I think Walker Bueller probably going to get hit around a little bit here, to be honest with you. So I was just looking around. If you can find some hits allowed props, I think 5.5 is the number. I would certainly look to go over there. I know the Padres offense can be a little bit hit and miss. Certainly was down in Arizona, where they really did kind of struggle. This could be a high scoring series, though. I think with these two teams, I don't know if a lot of them are up, if there's an injury issue, but I would be looking at Bueller kind of getting hit around a little bit. He had a couple good starts, and then against Houston, now he got a lot of run support in that game, but didn't strike out anybody last time out. So Padres, this looks like a good spot to fade the opposing pitcher.
If you like what you hear on our show, sign up for the newsletter, get exclusive tips, and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Next game we got the Phillies and the Rangers. Phillies in first in the NL East. Obviously, the Rangers have played better and are in the wild card mix here, tied with the Guardians as the first team on the outside looking in. Christopher Sanchez and the newly acquired Merrill Kelly in this one. Where you leaning in this one, Wes?
Yeah, Merrill Kelly, a solid start first time out. Got in a little bit of trouble in the sixth at Seattle, and this is a guy that can give you length. Like he doesn't really have overpowering stuff, so he's not always going to get you with the strikeouts, but gets some contact and gets out of the inning, relatively quickly. You've seen him go into the seventh and even the eighth. Sometimes when he was previously with the Arizona Diamondbacks before that trade deadline. If I could find under 7.5, which I think that those have basically disappeared. I know they have at Bet Rivers 7 over -121. If 7.5 can pop again, I would be a little bit interested in the under, but have not played anything yet in this one.
All right. I in this game was did you say the under? You were thinking about the
Yeah.
under in this game?
Yeah, at 7.5, but market, including at Bet Rivers, 7 juice to the over.
Yeah.
Sevens and nines are obviously the key numbers. So if a 7.5 emerges with juice to the under, which it potentially would, that'd be the way I'd go.
How about a Nerfy in this one?
Could absolutely see it. Could absolutely see it because and when you get these interleague games,
Yeah.
sometimes especially against a lefty, Christopher Sanchez, of course, being in that role here for this game. Sometimes it takes a time through the order to kind of figure him out a little bit. It's unfamiliar. It's not like it's a lefty in the division, like it's a lefty from the Mariners or
Mm-hmm.
the Astros that you have seen dozens and dozens of times. You haven't really seen Christopher Sanchez. So I could definitely see a Nerfy. I don't bet a lot of the Yerfies and Nerfies
Yeah.
necessarily, but I could certainly see it here in this one.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about, I'm trying to see if I'm going to be confident enough to do this. But I'm thinking about the over on strikeouts for Christopher Sanchez in this game. He's plus 110 at over 6.5. The Rangers, in terms of strikeouts, they're middle of the pack in terms of how often they strike out. But Christopher Sanchez, I think this guy's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Nobody talks about him at all. He's so under the radar. I think he's gonna have a big strikeout game tonight. I like Christopher
Yeah.
Sanchez over 6.5 Ks.
Just very workmanlike, I
Yeah.
think, for this guy this year. Like there are times where he can be a little bit hittable, but a 2.40 ERA and only a 2.82 on the xFIP. If you're under 3 on the xFIP, then you've been pitching some
Yep.
damn good baseball. 10-3 and 22 starts. He's got good strikeout stuff, a little bit about 9.5, keeps the ball in the yard. He has been one of the reasons why Philadelphia, and Kyle Schwarber, my guy from Indiana University, certainly helped being on a tear right now, where people are actually like, hey, why don't we consider him for MVP? But Christopher Sanchez, I think, is really, besides Zach Wheeler, has been really the steady Eddie of that staff.
Yeah. Speaking of guys pitching well, Matthew Boyd on the hill for the Cubs tonight in a rivalry series against the Cardinals. 8:15 is the start time in St. Louis. Matthew Boyd, 11-4 with a 2.34 ERA. He'll face rookie Michael McGreevy. Matthew Boyd, one of the biggest stories. I don't know where the Cubs would be without him because they're starting pitching. Imanaga's mostly been good, but he missed 6 weeks with injury. Justin Steele has missed the whole season. They trade for Michael Soroka. He gets hurt after 2 innings. I mean, Matthew Boyd has been the one rock short thing in that Cubs rotation.
Yeah, no question about it. Now going against Michael McGreevy, who's been, hit around a little bit. A couple starts against the Padres. He was better in San Diego than the previous one in St. Louis. I keep looking at Boyd, Adam, and he's been very good, but you feel like there's a little bit of regression due, and we keep anticipating when it's going to come. People thought it was going to come maybe against Baltimore on Saturday, and he goes into the seventh. But 2.34 ERA, 3.84 on the xFIP, batting average balls in play 271. So a little bit below average. So I keep thinking, okay, there's a spot to fade the guy, but I'm just not finding it right
Yeah.
now, necessarily. So, market a little bit coming in on the opener on St. Louis, but as of now, it's a stay away for me.
If you look at his game log since the start, especially since the start of July, really, if you go back to his last start in May, forget July. Since May 28th, he's had one bad start. And that was the end of July against the Brewers. He gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. His other 11 starts in the last 12, no runs in 6 innings, 2 and 7 and a third, 1 and 6, 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 0 and 6, 2 and 7, 0 and 5, 0 and 8, 0 and 7, and 0 and 7. I mean, it's been unbelievable. Outside of that
He
one start against the Brewers, he has an ERA of like 1
he's
since
a
the end of
guy.
May.
Yeah, he's a guy that puts himself sometimes, he'll cruise like the first 3 innings,
Yeah.
right? Where he'll have like 32 pitches and no hits or maybe like 1 hit and he's cruising. Then he'll get himself in a little jam in the middle, a little mini jam, and he's just finding ways out of it. First and second, 1 out, and he gets that double play or he gets that force and gets that pop up.
Mhm.
And that's why he's been able to give him length and protect a bullpen that probably could use a little bit of protection.
Yes, no doubt about it. All right. Next game. Speaking of excellent pitchers, the best of the bunch, Tarek Skubal will be on the hill at 7:10 Eastern for the Tigers. Tigers team that is not playing well. They're hosting the savvy veteran Kyle Hendricks, who, while he's long past his best days, kudos to Hendricks. I mean, he's been serviceable this year. I thought he was completely done. Again, I'm not telling you to bet on him or that I like him, but I thought he would have had like a 6.5 ERA and been, cut already by the Angels, and he hasn't. He's, for the most part, he's been decent. He's had a couple of bad starts, but he had a 3.21 ERA in June. He had one really bad start in July. Otherwise, he pitched decently. In his first start this month, he gave up 1 run in 5 innings. So the fact that he's been mediocre, to me, is a surprise.
Yeah, he gives you 5 pretty much
Yeah.
every single time, and that's what that's all you could probably expect at this point. But he's been able to do it, and that's why you see. I think like when you look at recorded outs, it's either heavy juiced at 14.5, or sometimes it goes heavy juice, and I'm talking like $2
Yeah.
at under 15.5 because that's what he is. He's a 5 inning pitcher. He's not a guy that you're going to work the third time through the rotation. I know he got pulled kind of quickly against the White Sox last start of this past Saturday. So, that's what he's given you right now. Nothing for me. Tigers, obviously a massive favorite. Angels, you know, uh, thought that they thought maybe that they were kind of on the periphery of being in it, but now 5 games under 500, where it's like they're not dead, but they're not really in it either. But there are times they
Yeah.
got some pops in that lineup, and certainly got some guys with some power, but nothing for me. I'm not going to fade Screwball with this lineup. This might be a game where Tarek kind of just like mows these guys down and goes a very solid, easy 7.
It's a bat flip Friday at Bet Rivers. Opt in and place a $10 wager on any player to hit a home run, and you'll receive a profit boost of up to 100%. See the Bet Rivers app for full details. Do you have, Wes? I asked you this in advance, so I'm putting you in a tricky spot. So if you don't have an answer, no big deal. But off the top of your head, if you had to bet a home run prop, I guess it's just easy to maybe pick Aaron Judge or Kyle Schwarber or the big dumper. I mean, who would you go with?
Gosh, yeah, I'm trying to look through these lineups as quick as I can, because you want to get your bang for your buck, and you don't want to necessarily go with the painfully obvious.
Yeah.
But I would probably who's in that. Gosh, I'm looking. I'm trying to look by the total and
Yeah.
see where we may get some runs. Maybe who's in the lineup for, maybe like Kettle Marte for the
Okay.
Diamondbacks, if he's in the lineup. That's a high total. It's Austin Gomber on the road. Diamondbacks are a big favorite. So if I'm looking for a guy a little bit off the grid, and maybe Kettle Marte in Arizona, they get some high scoring games, even though the Padres games were relatively low scoring. They get some high scoring games there. So we'll go with him.
All right. I mean, I'm trying. There's a lot of good pitchers going today, so it's going to be a little tougher day than most for a lot of teams to potentially hit home runs. But there's a lot of aces, a lot of really good pitchers going today. I could see maybe a Eugenio Suarez home run against Drew Rasmussen today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I could see a Manny Machado home run today against Walker Buehler.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ketel Marte is a good one because obviously playing against Colorado. Um, yeah, like the Royals Twins both got good pitchers going today. I could see a Jose Ramirez home run against Aaron Savali in Chicago. There's a few.
Rafael Devers against Jake Irvin,
Okay, I like that one.
perhaps would be one. 8.5 the total. Giants about a 160 favorite, and obviously the Giants have really fallen off. They're only one game ahead now, but
Right.
Jake Irvin kind of got bounced around in his last start. Now you go across the country, could see that one as well.
All right, I'll give you two more. Nick Kurtz against Sagano in Baltimore. And I give you one from a bad team here. Who's going to hit one? Tanner Bybee's given up a ton of home runs this year. He's been.
Hmm.
I got to give somebody who's some play. I mean, nobody on the White Sox has a ton of home runs. Their leading home run hitter is Miguel Vargas. No. Andrew Benintendi with 14. I'll say Luis Robert against Tanner Bybee today. There you go. I'll throw
Yeah,
that one out there.
yeah, because I was looking through Meadroff, of course, on
Yeah,
the injured list.
right.
But Benintendi, maybe Mike Talkman could
Yeah,
be another one to consider. But by the way, you did mention that A's and Orioles.
yeah,
I do have bets on that one. I
yeah.
bet the over, and it's now 10.
Right,
Would still bet to the over at 10, even though you might have missed the 9.5. Also, do have over 5 in the first 5. We'll see if that appears at Rivers again. It's heavily juiced to the under at 5.5.
right.
But if a 5 shows at Bet Rivers, would bet the over 5 in the first 5. Sagano is just a guy. I watched the start at Wrigley last Saturday. Actually, he was against the aforementioned who we were talking about a minute ago, Matthew
Yeah.
Boyd. And this guy, man, he just does not get quick outs.
Nope.
And it's not like he's a bad pitcher. I won't want to say that necessarily, but he just he nibbles a little bit. He doesn't get those 1-2 pitch outs. It seems like every batter he has is like a 3-2 count. And that's why you're not long for a start, why he only goes a lot of 5 innings, even though the numbers when you look at them don't look that bad on the surface. But I think these two teams who are obviously well out of it, I think this is like hammer time. You're going to see a lot of runs between the A's and the Orioles.
To back up what you're saying there, in his last 9 starts, Sagano's gone more than 5 innings twice. Went 6 against the Mets on July 10th and 6 against the Rockies on July 27th. Every other start he's had in his last 9, 5 innings or less, including most of those he didn't even go 5. 5 of those he didn't even go 5 innings. So yeah, yeah, I could definitely see the over in that one. All right. We'll get to the rest of the games here in a second and look back at the YouTube chat as well. Before we do that, I want to let you know that players can log in. If you're already a player at Bet Rivers, great. If you're not and you're a new player, we'll sign up now. Players can log in each Sunday on the promotional period of the promotional period, which is going on right now, for a 33% profit boost to use on any Sunday night baseball same game parlay. So check that out right now at Bet Rivers. All right, other games, Wes.
Yeah,
Reds.
let's look.
Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. Go. No, you go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Reds Pirates 640 Apple TV. Chase Burns, Mitch Keller.
Yeah, and fellow IU alum, the great Trisha Whitaker on the call on Apple TV for this one. I like Chase Burns over 15 and a half outs. And I know that this guy, they haven't really stretched him a lot because obviously he's got a lot of potential and he's averaging damn near 15 strikeouts per 9 innings. But they did let him go because he had already warmed up in the game at Bristol, the Speedway Classic on Saturday against the Braves. So he only went 1 inning. Then the rains came because it's like, okay, we're going to monitor him, giving him an inning or two, and then they were going to take him out. That's why, when Terry Francona said that, that's like, you go to the books and see who has those props up and hammer the unders, and hopefully you got paid out. I don't think most of the shops canceled those, but I think Burns maybe gives him a little length tonight. He's got some rest. He only worked 1 inning basically on Saturday, so he is well rested. So Chase Burns over 15 and a half outs makes a lot of sense tonight. I think at Bet Rivers it's about minus 114, minus 115-ish right now.
All right. The Angels and the we did the Angels and the Tigers. The Marlins and the Braves, 7-15. Edward Cabrera surprisingly did not get traded at the deadline against Bryce Elder. Anything for you there?
Yeah, neither of those Marlins pitchers got traded at
True.
the deadline. We were expecting Sandy Alcantara to get traded and did not. Eddie Cabrera, I kind of like the over outs with him tonight. I know, the Braves got him late, when they got to the battle of the bullpens, but man, the Braves, if you're watching this team on a regular basis, number one, God bless you. But, number two, this team doesn't hit. I mean, they have without Acuna, this team just really, really struggles. Milwaukee completely shut them down. I thought the Brave starters were actually very good in that series, but they couldn't do it. Cabrera, and I'm trying to see what the price is at BR right now on him, but over 16 and a half outs. I know there's some 17 and a half. I would even play the bump here. I think this is a guy potentially that's going to give you 6. He's keeping the walks down. He's cleared this line, I believe, 5 of the last 6 in July. He has cleared this outs mark. So Eddie Cabrera, now they're giving him a little length. It's 17 and a half at Bet Rivers, minus 114. I would still go with the over there. And they're not keeping him on the leash as much because they didn't trade him. So now they're letting him go a little bit more. We saw Yuri Perez was very efficient against this Braves lineup before the bullpens got it out of whack. So Edward Cabrera over 17 and a half outs makes a lot of sense to me.
Here's my pick of the day in the Royals Twins game. 2 of my favorite pitchers. I wanted the Cubs to trade for both of them. They didn't get either of them. Seth Lugo and Joe Ryan. I like the under a lot in this game. It's under 8.5 minus 115. I know the Twins bats have been good the last 2 days against Detroit, but the Royals lineup is not good. The Twins lineup, despite the last 2 days, is not very good. I love both these pitchers. They both have the ability to go deep, although Lugo last couple starts has not. So I like the under in this one. What say you on that?
Yeah, to your point, Bull, I think you're going to get length, too, out of both of these pitchers tonight. where you could see them going six. So that's probably I don't think that that's a bad play at all. I think that you're on the right side there. So probably going to get length out of both these teams who have
Yeah.
now fallen out of contention, even though the Royals only one game under 500, but playing out the string here. But I think you might see a pitcher's duel in Minneapolis tonight.
All right, you got the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. We mentioned that game briefly. Austin Gomber and Zach Gallen. Obviously, Gallen was a guy who many people thought would get traded. The Rockies really don't have any good players to trade. And he play in this game.
Yeah, what Mickey Moniak isn't going to get a lot of return for
Probably not.
Colorado
Yeah.
here, but yeah, look, I don't like to bet. I don't like to bet Colorado, to be honest with you, ever, because they're 30-84. But
Mm-hmm.
nothing really here for me. I stay away from these games because the Diamondbacks, they obviously threw in. They were one of the first early throw in the towel teams that we saw even before the deadline really got heated up.
Yeah.
So trading Suarez, trading Naylor. Yeah, this team's just playing it out. So, you're probably going to get a lot more overs with this team, even though that bottom of the lineup certainly have lost a lot of reinforcements. But you still got Marte, you've still got Corbin Carroll, you've still got Perdomo at the top of the lineup. So, I'd be playing more overs than unders with this team for certain. And then they're throwing out with guys like my old guy Pasta, Anthony DeSclafani out there, and he's not. They're kind of innings eaters.
Yeah.
So you're going to see some high scoring games with the Diamondbacks, I think, the rest of the season.
Speaking of the over, I like the over in the Nationals Giants game, over 8.5. You got Jake Irvin for Washington, who's been really bad lately, and Kai Wei Tang for the Giants is really just like a bullpen game. So, and the Giants have traded away a lot of their good bullpenners. I see this being a very high scoring game. Are you buying it? I know it's not two great offensive teams, but I still see a lot of runs in this game. Am I crazy or are you buying it?
Yeah, I'll buy it a little bit here with the Giants, especially with the bullpen situation, and then Nats going across country. That's never easy, with no days really in between. So kind of a tough situation for them. Even though you're not seeing a lot, you're seeing like a little smidgen of money, a little sprinkle to the Giants, but nothing substantial. So this has gone up from 8 to 8.5, juice to the under now. So I'd lean over if I played this.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today, folks. Before we say goodbye, let's see if we got any other comments. Let's see. City by the Bay hit the Ravens money line yesterday at plus 250. I would never bet on preseason football myself. But the Ravens always win preseason games, so I don't know why they were 6 points.
I actually did last night and had to split because I took the pregame under and then I took the second half under, which got there. If you watch that game, you're like, how the hell was this not 10-9? Because none of these offenses did anything. They played Devin Leary, Baltimore, for like 3 quarters. What really messed it up was the punt return. The Colts were bad on special teams. They were bad everywhere. But that's preseason football, man. There's value to be had. But you got to understand that your edges are small because all 3 games yesterday, I know we're getting a little bit off topic here, but all 3 games yesterday got steamed by sharp guys. And keep in mind, preseason, you don't move numbers. It doesn't take much money, I should say, to move numbers. All 3 of the sides that got steamed yesterday got beat. So, just following the moves in preseason, that could be dangerous. Like if you miss the number, pass. And maybe try, if you're watching a game, try to do an end game pass if you miss these numbers, because it takes very little bets and very little action to move them in the preseason.
By the way, that was the first time Joe Burrow played a preseason game in his career, which is crazy.
So that's why everybody bets the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Bengals first half because the starters are going to play.
Yeah.
Because that's what these numbers do in preseason. They just move on information.
Yeah.
When you get the quarterback rotation out there, it's kind of like, okay, because remember everybody was fading in the Hall of Fame game. Everybody was fading DJ Uiagalelei, and the Chargers easily beat the Lions. So sometimes best laid plans go awry in these preseason bets.
Thanks to Alex and Z. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. Make sure you're subscribed to the Betting Weekly Studios, Betting Weekly Hardball. Coming up in about 20 minutes, it's Betting Weekly Fast Break with Sarah Sivian and Albert Wynn. I'm off next week on vacation. Wes, when are you next on the
I
show?
will be on, I believe, next Wednesday. I think we're going to be doing some WNBA after that trade deadline came and went. Not much
Yeah.
on actual deadline day, only one trade, by the way. WNBA getting into the playoff home stretch, Major League Baseball, and then of course football is here.
Can't wait. Can't wait. We'll talk to y'all next time. Where else but right here on Betting Weekly Hardball. See ya.